From the John Navita Broadcast Center, it's time for Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network. Today's guest, Bob will be talking to musician Mr. Al Bach, paranormal investigator, Mr. Leon Dorman, and former radio personality, host of Metal Vault, paranormal investigator, Mr. Monty Stone. And now it's time for Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek.
Paranormal Radio on this wonderful first full day of autumn, September 23rd. Cool weather sets in. Everybody's all of a sudden getting geared for the Halloween season and for paranormal, and that's what we are here. We are Paranormal Radio. Before I go any further and introduce my guests that I've got coming on, we've got a full show today here, so I'm going to forego some of the usual things I do, like the newspaper clippings and that, just to give everybody a little more airtime to talk on the air here, because we've got a lot of ground we want to cover. But I have to give some sponsor recognition. I now have a sponsor. Yippee! I have Mr. Ed Shanahan. Mr. Ed Shanahan was a guest on our show last month. I do shows here once a month with www.windycityhometown.com. And Ed was our guest last month, and apparently he was impressed with the show. He liked the format, he liked the way things went, and decided to do a sponsorship with us here. So we appreciate that. So I've got a few things to say about Ed here. He wrote this himself, so you know what they say about the rabbi who praises himself. He has a congregation of one. But that is not the case with Mr. Ed Shanahan. He's a great guy, and he was a great guest, and here's what we got going for Ed. He was awarded the Best Psychic Award to Edward Shanahan. You can get a hold of him at edwardshanahan.com. These are small letters, Edward, and then Shanahan would be spelled SHANAHAN.com. Awarded to him in 2012. He was the Best Psychic Award. He has house parties he does private office readings for individuals. He's a Chicago paranormal host. He does not like to be called a tour guide. He wants to be called a paranormal host. I guess it just sounds more polite. Personally, myself, I don't care what they call me as long as they come on the tours. But Ed likes to be called a paranormal host, which is a nicer word for that. And he's got exclusive locations like the John Humphrey's house over in Orland Park, Al Capone's Cullerton Hotel, the Valentine's, Chicago Boys and Girls Clubs, and a lot of haunted locations. Paranormal dates he's got in October. Go to ChicagoParanormalNights.com. That's all one word, ChicagoParanormalNights.com, and you can find out all the details. And like I said, Ed was a great guest. If you want to listen to that show, go back, punch up on your computer YouTube, and then go to Paranormal Radio, and you can punch in the last date, which we did the show on 8/19, I believe it was. Yeah, 8/19, and then you can listen to that broadcast that we did with Ed. It took me a long time to get Ed Shanahan to come on the show because he's so busy. He's very much in demand, and he does a lot of different things, and he's very good at what he does. So he's hard to get on, but it was worth the wait having him on. He was a very good guest, nice gentleman to talk to. We found out a lot of things about each other we did not know. Number one, we are both the same age, or at least close to the same age, maybe a year apart. I might be a year older than Ed. And also, too, we live right in the same area, like literally almost outside the doors of each other's. Ed lives in, I think he lives in Hometown or in Burbank, and I'm in Summit, so we're very close. I never got him on when I was doing my shows over at WARG Radio over at Argo High there, but we got him on here. So anyway, we'll be giving Ed some more sponsor recognition, and thank you very much for your sponsorship of Paranormal Radio. Okay, tonight's guest, I've got Mr. Al Bach. Al is a magician. So Al's going to do magic for us on the radio. Now, how is this going to work? I don't know. But Al will let us know. We're going to do that. And then also I've got Len Dorman. Len has been with me before, just all over the place. When I did the WARG shows, Len was with us at a couple of the locations. Were you with us when we did the show? Yeah, Caribou. One of the Caribou Coffees, we had a thing with them. And then right after we did our shows there, they closed all the Caribou Coffees. So I don't know if that's such a good sign. But we did a couple of shows with Caribou Coffee, and then they closed all the coffee houses down. So that's why now we're kind of frowning on locations. Were you with when I did the thing at Chuck's? No, not at Chuck's.
Not at Chuck's.
No, not at Chuck's. What are they called? Chuck's, God, I better get this right because I do my palm readings there with them. It's Chuck's Southern Comforts. Chuck's Southern Comforts Cafe. But you were not at that one.
No.
But you did a couple of times at the studios over at WARG Radio. Were with us and that. And,
2 or 3 times, actually.
Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah, Len is a great guy, and he's also a great guest filler, too. Anytime you want to call Len, he'll come on the radio for you. Just give him directions and point him in the right direction, and he'll show up. He's great, and he's got a lot of neat stories to tell. Ed's a... I want to call him a paranormal expert, with a lot of expertise in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. And then also, too, we have on Mr. Monty Stone.
Hey, kids.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Monty is a well-known radio personality. He's had a show called The Metal Vault, heavy metal music.
Yes.
Not my type of thing. If you can't wind it up and put it on the Victrola, I don't listen to it. So Monty
We're
does,
still working on that one.
Yeah, Monty does a heavy metal show, and maybe he will be getting that get that up and running here at Windy City. We don't know about that. That's kind of in the works there. We've kind of talked about that a little bit, and we'll see what's going on with that. And Monty also is a paranormal investigator. So thank you all, and welcome to Paranormal Radio at www.windycityhometown.com.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. A couple of announcements from me. Ta-da! See, like I said, the rabbi that praises himself. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up in October here with the Summit Park District over on Archer Road there, where I live in Summit. October 12th and October 22nd, we've got 2 tours we're running each day. One will be a morning tour from 9 to 1. The other one will be from 2 to 6. And we just haul you around all over the place. But some of the locations we'll be talking about on this show tonight, we take you some other spots, give you all the stories on these places, some of the facts, some of the fictions about them. Let you know all about that. We stop, we have some lunch. It's all included with the price. It's like $30 for that. So what am I listening to? We have something paranormal coming in on the radio.
Yeah, there's voices.
There's a voice coming in. Somebody didn't shut their phone. The first rule of thumb of being on radio is you silence your cell phone before you...
My co-host Tata Jones would know all about that because he never shut it off during the show.
These things happen to us all the time. And then sometimes, too, like when I was with you, we had somebody walk in on us.
Yeah.
So I need to hoot... those tours with the Park District, and then I'm branching out. I'm doing some with the Stickney Park District, too. Oh, Summit's phone number, if you want to call them and find out about these with any questions, 708-496-1012. And then also with the Stickney Park District, I'm doing the same tour with them. That will be October 20th. That one is on a Sunday. And then I'm doing a Chinatown, a supernatural Chinatown, all about Chinese superstitions and Chinese ghosts and everything Chinese. Chinese are real superstitious people. And that will be October 11th. And you can give them a call at 708-496-8292. And then also October 11th, I'll be doing a lecture on the paranormal over at the Justice Library. Not October 11th, let me take that back. It can't be in 2 places at once. That's October 17th. That will be at the Justice Library. And then October 24th, I will be at the Bridgeview Library doing a repeat of that. So it's kind of nice because when Justice books me, I know I get a booking at Bridgeview. So it's kind of nice because Justice has a small library. They have a small lecture room. So if they get an overflow of people, we'll send some over to Bridgeview. So it's kind of nice. So thank you all for allowing me to come to those places and give the tours and give the talks. And we'll be talking about that more as time goes on. Also, too, we don't want to forget our friends. They were going to come on tonight. I talked to Mr. John Schenkel with Twisted Intentions Productions with the Dark Summit Haunts and Mr. Dan McGrail, and they were going to send somebody on tonight and talk about that because I kind of partner up with them with their haunted house over there in Summit and do some palm readings and things with them. I sit out there and do. And they didn't show, so something happened with that. I don't know if they couldn't come or we got our days crossed or something, but I'll put in a plug for them. They will be starting their haunted house, I think, this weekend. They're going to start it a little earlier. They're going to start at the end of September, and that will run weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, all the way through the month of October, and I think into the first weekend of November, because Halloween this year is like a Thursday, so they're going to do it November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, too, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Halloween, the 31st. So that will be over at Summit Park over there on Archer Road. So, look out for all these things here, and Len, what have you got? You got any tours or anything going on that you got running for October?
I never have anything going on.
You always have something going on. That's why I have a hard time getting you to come on this show. You're always so busy doing things.
Actually, the one thing I've got going on in the future will be at the edge of Chinatown.
Tito's on the, not Tito's on the edge anymore, it's Ethel's Party.
Tito's on the edge, now called Ethel's Party. We have a Halloween party going on. Either one of 2 days. It's either going to be a Friday, the 25th, I believe. Got it right here. The 25th or the 26th, which would be Saturday.
Oh, if you're there the 26th, we'll be shaking hands because I'm taking one of my groups through there on Saturday. But we'll be there in the afternoon. We'll be at Ethel's during the afternoon. That's the end of it. No, I take it back. That is not the 26th. That will be on the 20th. No, that will not be the 20th. I got my days all jumbled up here. It's a good thing I have a calendar. That will be October 11th. That's a Friday, so you don't have to worry about that. We won't be bumping heads. On the Chinatown tour, because since it's right on the edge of Chinatown, I take them there, too, because that's a neat place. I like Ethel's Party. They're real nice to us there, too. They're very receptive and open to paranormal investigators coming into that place. And
oh, yeah. I was in there last month with a group, Into the Night Paranormal, give them a little name calling. And they got some fantastic EVPs, some very scary EVPs there.
We're going to play some stuff tonight. Now, not necessarily from Ethel's Party, but we got some Bachelor's Grove EVPs we're going to play here later on. Monty brought some stuff in because Monty's...
very
that's why I said
good.
You two got to shake hands because you're both really involved with the Bachelor's Grove Cemetery.
I love that place. It has such a vibe to it.
So I would like to invite you to Ethel's party.
Okay.
We're trying to get some people down there to read palms.
Oh, well, I can do that. Yeah, okay.
And if
It depends. What day did you say this one was?
either Friday the 25th, I believe,
Okay.
and Saturday the 26th.
Yeah, and both are going to be out for me because the 25th I do palm readings over at Chuck's, Southern Comforts in Burbank, and the 26th I've got the 2 tours with the Summit Park District, and then at night,
both nights,
after
yeah.
I finish those tours, I'm over with the Dark Summit Haunts. I do palm readings with them. So sorry, Len.
Okay.
I'd be happy to do it for you, but I just can't be in every place at once.
We're going to have some waivers down there for people to sign, and I'll be doing
Waivers to sign. Why do you need? This
know
sounds
that's a good
dangerous.
sign.
Yeah, this
You know
sounds
that's
dangerous.
fun.
You need waivers to sign.
I take people down to the cold room downstairs. Where
Yeah,
the
I've been
bodies
down
were
there too.
stored.
Yeah.
And I've been attacked 3 times in that room.
You've been attacked?
Yes.
By the coal or what?
I've had my hat knocked off. I've had
Oh.
my nose thumped. I've received a scratch, and I've also received a bruise in there.
And you keep going back.
And I keep going back.
Okay, before we go any further, before we get into this paranormal, which will go on and on and on and on, I want to introduce Mr. Al Bach, since Al actually was the first guest I booked for tonight. Al, welcome to Paranormal Radio.
Thank you, Bob.
Al is a magician. Al comes into every single morning. I'm over at Dunkin' Donuts right by my house there on Harlan Avenue there, and Al kind of popped in one time and we just started talking. And he said he's a magician, and I says, "Oh, you'd be great to get on the radio. Would you be interested in doing something like that?" Sure, why not? So Al is a kind of a talented magician. We're going to try to work on getting him a few bookings and some things going on with him. And I thought this would be great. We can bring Al on. And I don't know how we'll work this because I don't know what kind of magic you can do on the radio, but we're going to tape this. You're going to put this up on YouTube, are you, Al?
I'll post the clips of.
Yeah, he's going to post it. He's going to do some stuff on it, and we'll explain what he's doing here. And then in the meantime, we'll be talking about magic.
Great.
Boom.
Great.
What have you made disappear?
I've worked with a lot of close-up magic, so coins.
Yeah, I know. I've seen. Yeah,
coins,
he's
cards.
really good with cards and coins, and he was doing a few tricks for us over there at the coffee house there, and he's very talented in
Some
what he does.
very visual coin.
Yeah. I do a trick.
Do you?
Yeah, this is my trick. I make myself disappear. Now watch. This is how this works.
Okay.
Just give me a minute here.
Okay.
Okay, now I've disappeared. No, I guarantee you that nobody that's listening to this broadcast can see me. There you go. Now, there you go. See, so I made myself disappear. And of course, I will reappear. Not
Now,
this
if
show.
we
This show.
all
I'm
close
going
our eyes,
to be
too.
invisible for this whole show. So anybody that's listening to this show won't see me for this whole show. But next October, I'll be back on, and you might be able to see me next time. No, you might actually be able to see me on this show because you're going to be taping the show for YouTube, aren't you? You want to tape some of your magic?
Yeah, you'll be in the clips.
Oh, I'll be in the clip? Oh, well, then I'm not going to be invisible. I'll have to save my...
Well, you'll reappear.
You're back.
You'll reappear.
Yeah, I'll have to save my
He's
dematerialization trick for next month. Oh, incidentally, next month, October 25th. If
a
anybody
big
out
word.
there listening would like to contact me, you can do that through Facebook. Next month, I'm going to do a tribute to Mr. Richard Crow. Richard Crow was a great guy, very well known in the Chicago area, really internationally known, really, in the field of paranormal. A pioneer, one of the pioneers in paranormal. Knew Richard for many, many years. I had him as a guest on my radio show on a Friday the 13th, the year he passed away. And I told Richard, I says, Richard, all the Friday the 13th are yours. And he was going to come on for us every Friday the 13th. And that was in February. And then in June of that year, he passed away. I talked to him just a couple weeks before he died. And he passed away. He's no longer with us, and I think we owe him something, so we're going to do a show. I won't play that whole broadcast because we talked so much on that show. I talked like almost 2.5 hours with Rich. We had so much to talk about, and we were going to do another show, but we never got the opportunity to. And so we'll be doing a tribute to that. And if anybody has any Richard Crow stories that you would like to share, or things about his tours, anything, if you knew him personally, whatever, if you'd like to come on the show, give me send me a message through Facebook, and we'll arrange that. We'll get you on here, and we'll do that next month.
So I have to contact you on Facebook rather than just telling you now.
Well, you could tell me now as long as you're here. as long as I'm still visible, you could tell me now. As long as you can see me, you can tell me now.
I'm just talking to a room. I see an empty spot over there.
See, so I am invisible. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to do it. I'm not quite certain what date we're going to do that one next month, but we will do it. I'll post that as soon as I figure out a date when something isn't going on for the month of October, and we'll do that.
Oh, just let me know. I'll be here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're okay. You're on. Yeah.
Because Richard and I were friends. I actually joined the Civil War, the Salt Creek Civil War table.
Yeah.
That he was a member of, and
he was a member of everything. Good
I was
Lord.
also in the Chicago Westerners Chorale with him.
Now, what did the Westerners Corral? Did you guys go do the country line dancing, or what did you do?
We discussed and had speakers on Western lore, Western stories, Western books,
Yeah,
the
he
Western
was,
lifestyle.
Yeah, he was just into everything. So anyway, we're going to do that next month. Now, let me get back to Al Bach. Al,
Yes.
what do you want to do for us today? What do you want to talk about? Let me talk a little bit about you. How long have you been doing magic?
I've been in magic since I was 12. I was inspired at that age. My uncle came over and he knew some good card tricks. And
okay.
So after that, I started tuning in.
So was he a
more, and
professional magician? Did he do?
He just happened to know a few card tricks.
Okay, and so that just kind of intrigued you, and you took it from there, and then
Right. I started. I saw an ad in a magazine for a magic shop called Top Hat Magic, and
they got you for that old trick. You sent in the $12.95 and got you got the cardboard box with the deck of cards in it, huh?
So then, of course, I stumbled upon a book in the library when I was in 6th grade, The Great Houdini.
Oh yeah, who better than to get you going in magic? Yeah.
And as I later pursued magic, I found out that his birthday was determined at March 24th of the month, which is the same as my birthday.
Oh, so you got the same birthday. And Harry Houdini was born and died on...
He was born on March 24th and died on October 31st.
I thought he was born on October 31st and died October 31st. Born and died on Halloween.
No, born March 24.
What was the significance with the 31st besides him? I know he died on Halloween. He died on Halloween, but there was something else with it, too. He had some other important thing in his life happened October 31st.
That's all that...
I would guess his mother passed away on that day.
Possibly. Yeah, possible.
He was obsessed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the mother, he's really obsessed with her, yeah. Houdini was very instrumental in disproving a lot of phonies. In the heyday of Harry Houdini and Blackstone and a lot of the great magicians, the heyday of the 1920s, this stuff was, as it is becoming, again, very, very popular. Fortune-telling, palm reading, spirit mediums, seances, all this stuff was really going crazy in those days. Unfortunately, there was a lot of it that was false, a lot of phonies. And some of these very, very high-priced phonies, Harry Houdini disproved. So, yeah, he did a lot to make this a legitimate business.
The latter part of his career, the latter part he pursued a lot of debunking of the...
So did you learn any, Harry, did you learn how to dematerialize like Harry Houdini?
No,
I mean, can you disappear on the radio like I did? Or?
At that point, yeah. That's a big word, though.
Yeah. Okay, what are you going to do for us today here that we're going to...
Are we ready to...
yeah, go ahead, whatever you want to do.
Take a look at. I thought I'd start off with... go ahead.
You also said you created a couple of new illusions, too, so we're going to talk about those.
I've created several effects, and some of them are somewhat known. One of them I brought with...
Now, wait a minute, if it's known... Then you didn't create it.
By magicians.
Oh, I get it, okay.
The secret, that hasn't appeared on any exposed shows.
Okay.
But I thought I'd start off with something popularized by Uri Geller, bending metal.
Oh, that old fraud. I love the way Johnny Carson ripped into him. Did you catch that show? You can get that one on YouTube. He had Uri Geller on, the well-known, famous psychic Uri Geller, and Johnny Carson, being a former magician. Boy, he kind of disproved him right on the air. Yeah.
There's literature that goes both ways, so that...
Not to disrespect Yuri, I shouldn't have said it that way. It's kind of harsh, but...
A Russian psychic?
Yeah, Uri Geller. He was very, very popular, like in the 70s, 80s, and then he all of a sudden just fizzled out.
He's resurfaced a bit now.
He's still around, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's still around.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it that way, but he did. Johnny Carson did kind of disprove him on the air.
He was boxed into a corner on that show.
Okay, so what are you going to do for us that we can disprove you of, Al?
All right, can I remove these for...
Sure, go ahead. He's going to take his headsets off here. I'll kind of be talking here as just in case he's got... So we can still hear you, but... okay, you're going to do something for us on the radio here, and we will be all amazed and amused.
He's going to...
okay, now he's recruited Monty Stone to help him out here.
Yes.
Now, what are you doing, Monty?
I am going to film him.
Oh, you're going to film him? Oh, you're getting the camera out. I thought you were doing the trick. Okay, so we're not ready yet. So what are you going to do? What's your first illusion going to be here?
First, we'll work with the metal.
You're going to bend metal.
If everything is just right...
Didn't Uri Geller say the same thing? Conditions have to be just right.
Maybe it'll happen.
And we're going to film this, and then
we'll... do this right
and then we'll post this up on YouTube, too.
Of you here.
Do you have enough room here? Do I need to clear your little table space? Okay.
This is great
all
as
right.
it is.
Nope.
Monty's ready. It's a good picture there.
Sorry.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, go ahead, and we'll explain this over the airwaves here.
We are recording.
Okay, this is metal, mind, and so your concentration will help too.
Okay, I will do that. I'll get serious here.
With me, a fork here, and I'd like you to hold out your right hand.
Okay.
Okay, turn it this way, and just grasp right here. So
Okay, but now what I'm doing, he's got a long fork, and I'm just holding the fork at
Right.
the bottom of the fork with my forefinger and thumb.
Oh, watch.
Okay.
Oh, that's wicked.
Watch.
Okay,
I
the
know
fork is
this is
bending.
I know this is on the radio, so
Okay, he is bending the
you'll
fork. The
have
fork
to
is bending.
see. And you're also holding it, correct?
And I'm holding it, but
And
I
this
gotta-
has never left our site.
it hasn't
either,
left my sight,
correct?
no. Although it is invisible to the radio listening audience. It hasn't left our
Okay.
sight. But I have to tell you something about this fork. This fork was
Do you feel
bent when it was-
anything?
I don't feel anything.
Oh.
I feel a little warmth, I can tell you that. I do feel a little warmth between my two fingers.
Right.
Okay,
And now, let the fork just drop to the table.
okay. Let it drop?
Let it drop. Right.
Okay. All right. Now can I see this fork?
Sure.
Okay.
Check it out.
Now it's ice cold. Just a second ago, this fork was warm. I have to tell you this. This is the truth. This thing. When I first saw this fork, he handed me this fork, and I have to tell you, it was bent on the top. And I thought, here we go, another phony baloney here, because the thing
All
the thing
right,
was bent on the
now-
top. But let me just a second
Okay,
here, Al.
go ahead.
I want to give some credibility to what you
Thank
did
you.
here. And he said, hold this at the bottom, and then what do you feel? And I did feel it warm. It got very warm. It got very, very warm. When I dropped this fork and it hit the table where we all have our mics here, where we're broadcasting from, and I picked it up again, it is ice cold. So how he did that, I don't know.
Okay, let's.
That was a lot of fun to watch. though.
Yeah, so you got that on, you got that up on.
did put this
So this will be on YouTube. We're going to post this so you can
Let
see
me
this.
place it in this bag
Mhm.
here now.
Okay, now there's more to it. Okay, now
So-
he's got just a plain old Ziploc
There's
big
less.
plastic bag
There's
here.
less chance of any sleight of hand. So hold
Okay.
it right at the top.
Okay,
there.
hold this at the top here with the. I'm holding the bag,
Okay,
plastic
good.
bag with the fork in it.
Good. Hold on to it. This may work. Concentrate. Okay. Visualize the fork.
Okay, now.
Visualize the fork unbending.
Okay. Okay, I'm watching it move.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's trapped in the bag, right? Watch.
Okay.
So the fork has never left view as it unbends.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what the significance of the plastic bag is.
Eliminating any sleight of hand.
Okay. Okay, so now the fork was in the bag, bent, like it was, and ice
There it
cold,
is.
and
So
it's
now-
now straightened itself out.
The fork is restored.
Now the fork is intact. It's still cold. It is still very, very cold. I don't know why this would be so cold, because it's actually warm here in the studio. It's not cold in the studio. I could see if we were all chilly in here. We're not, but this fork is very cold. Even when I'm holding it, warming it up, you know how you warm things up with your hand, your body heat, and it's just very cold, very ice cold. Very good, Al.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good job.
Very nice. So,
I have
now,
something fitting for Halloween.
if we want to get a hold of you, if somebody wants to book you for a party or book you for a lecture or something, how can we get a hold of you to do some of these things for us here?
MagicNow.com.
MagicNow.com. So go ahead. Al's got a website,
www.magicnow.com.
www.magicnow.com. If you want to get a hold of Mr. Al Bach, if you're interested in maybe booking him for some parties or a couple of lectures
Or
or
even some
talks.
videos. There's videos you could watch. And
Yeah, you got a
enjoy.
couple of things up there, too,
Performance
yeah.
videos.
Okay, what else you
on
going to
the
do for us here,
website.
Al? Let's see what else you got.
All right, I'd like to show you something very dangerous.
Uh-oh.
That's scary.
John DeVita, do
Very
we have
dangerous.
insurance here? Okay, John says we're insured, so it's
Everybody sign
okay.
the waiver?
But now,
Closer.
when he says dangerous, he comes automatically right to me with this thing.
Okay. When I tell you this silk will be draped down.
Okay,
and
what he's
when
got
I
is he's
tell
got a.
you, I was, go
Since
ahead.
since they can't see this, on the broadcast here, he's got a silk, just a plain old silk scarf. It's like a triangle silk scarf, like a lady's silk scarf that they would wear on their head.
Correct.
And he's got it stretched between his thumb and forefinger on both hands, and I got my hand in the middle.
When I tell you, yeah, but when I tell you to, I would like you to pick up this corner and hold it perpendicular.
Pick up the top corner.
Yeah, it'll be here.
Okay.
And I'd like you to hold it.
Okay, you're going to hold the bottom, and I'm going to hold put that
Right.
part up when you tell me to. Okay,
Right.
all right.
Okay. The thread.
And this is a Halloween illusion.
This, you'll notice, is the target area.
Okay, now he has like a little disc. I don't know
This
what
is
you
a
call
mini
this.
disc.
It's like a little mini disc with the hole in the middle, and it says "pluck it."
It's the name of the trick. Pluck it.
Okay.
All right, so that'll be right there.
Okay, and he puts this in the palm of his hand.
You're
Okay.
going to hold the tip here.
Okay. All right. Let's see what goes on with this.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is this is dangerous, I'm going to stab my hand with the tip of this silk.
Oh,
Palm of my
that's
hand.
really dangerous. A soft silk scarf is very
I'm gonna
dangerous to stab your
perform a
hand
little
with.
surgery
Okay.
on the back and pluck a little piece of the silk right through my skin.
Okay. So
squeeze
we're supposed to.
area.
So the silk
Yeah,
scarf
you
has
see
now just gone through your hand. Okay.
And
All
that's
right. Okay. I get-
lodged in my skin.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, now if you could grab the lower corner.
The little part that's down
No,
here.
the other
Oh, the
corner.
other corner. Okay.
The other way.
Up through here. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Hold it perpendicular to my hand, straight up. Pull taut. Now hold real tight. Loosen up a little bit. Loosen a little more. Loosen a little more. Okay, just follow me.
Okay. I'm just following him with the silk
Okay,
scarf here.
Just as I pull.
Okay. And it's going through his hand. Ah.
Okay, release.
Okay.
Looks painful. You all right, man?
Okay.
All right.
And
Very
there we
good.
have it.
That's great.
So the
you.
illusion was this disc with the hole in it he has in the palm of his hand. The scarf goes through the hole into the palm of his hand and comes out the other side of his hand. How he does this, I don't know.
And
But watch
he
this
has
on
no
YouTube, you can
wounds
see it.
on his hand.
Right, there's no wounds, and then I pulled
Amazing.
it, and
Magic.
it pulls through his through the disc and through his hand. It comes up through. It's magic.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's magic. Okay,
Mind reading?
you read minds? Oh, you're right in the right spot. Although I don't know if you my mind, I don't know.
Mine would
Okay.
be pretty
Okay,
simple.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason this is fitting for
The old cartridge. These are the ones he ordered for $12.95 through the mail.
Right.
Okay.
The reason this is fitting is this isn't really like a card trick.
Okay.
If it was like a card trick, you would physically remove a card, you would remember it, put it back, and I could possibly control the card.
Okay.
What this is you're going to merely think of a card.
Okay. Let me know when you want me to do that now.
I'm going to spread out the cards.
Okay. All right.
Normally I'd have you take one, like I said.
Okay.
But if I did that, then I could control your selection when you put it back in the pile.
I have to
correct?
see these cards for just. I can't see them. I can't see 'em.
Hold on.
I can't see the cards.
I'll show you.
I wanted to see if this was one of those marked decks, here, to
All
lend a
right,
little
I'm-
credibility to this.
Here's a very wide selection.
Okay. You want
All
me
right,
to?
this
Now,
is- this
I don't
is
pick one. I think of it.
Only you.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my head away so I can't look where you're looking.
Okay.
Okay? Think of one.
Okay. I got one.
Have you got it?
Yeah. Now I'm going to tell them. Did you get it? Okay. All right.
All right. Take a look. Is it still there?
It's there.
Okay, great. So concentrate on your card.
Okay. Okay. I'm concentrating.
And I'm going to go through the cards one by one.
Okay.
And if you feel the vibes are right, I'd like you to scream stop as loud as you can.
Oh, you want me to do it as loud as I can?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, I might scare everybody.
I'm going to leave this deck here. This is a blue pack.
Okay.
Okay? You looked at a red backed card. If
Okay.
you see a card, scream out stop.
If I see my card?
Yes. Do you see it? The one you thought of. No?
Mm-mm. No.
No?
No. No. No.
No?
No.
So the card you thought of has vanished.
No, it hasn't. It's over here.
Did you feel anything happen, or did you see anything?
No, I
or-
did not.
No?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. If you see your card, I'd like you to just touch it. If you see it.
Okay.
Touch
I see it.
Touch it. The king?
It's the King of Spades. Yeah.
So when you thought of your card,
Mhm.
it turned invisible, and it traveled through time and space,
Okay.
and it landed over here in the blue packet.
Okay.
Would that be, if the back is red, that would...
Oh, I get it. So it's not in the red. That was the
It's in
illusion.
blue,
Oh,
right.
okay. Oh, all right. I get
so
it.
that would be...
So it traveled from the red deck to the blue deck.
Through
I
time and
get you.
space.
And you,
Okay.
and you merely thought of it,
I
right?
get you.
All right,
Okay.
let's take a look. It is.
Ah.
Thank you.
There you go. Very good. It was in with the blue. It was in with the blue backing cards. I have to tell you this on the radio. And then when he flipped the card over, it was blue. When he flipped it over, it turned back to red again. So How they do this, I don't know. Anyway, that was some of the illusions of Mr. Al Bach, who we can get a hold of at, go ahead.
MagicNow.com.
MagicNow.com. www.magicnow.com.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Now, let's get to spooky stuff.
That's pretty spooky. I'm
Yeah.
pretty scared right now,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Things were
spooky
going
stuff.
through human
Yeah,
bodies,
yeah,
time
yeah.
and space. I think I
That's
gotta
spooky
go.
stuff. Monty Stone.
Yes.
Monty.
Yes, sir.
Monty has, for many, many moons, done a heavy metal show, which is scary enough in and of itself. And so, but Monty also, in addition to that, is very, very much into the paranormal.
Absolutely.
And,
to me, they go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not for everybody, but it does for me.
Yeah. So Monty's going to talk to us some about, what are you going to talk about?
I was just gonna listen to your guys' stories. I mean,
Oh, you don't
want
want
me to talk about hanging out and drinking beer with Iron Maiden? I could do that.
Well, that's somewhat paranormal, I would suppose. Now you do a lot of research on your own. You don't.
Yeah,
You don't belong to one of these groups either.
No,
paranormal.
I'm
you do all
solo
your own. Yeah, that's what I
completely.
do. I do all independent stuff by myself. I like to do that. And you've come up with some stuff at Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, haven't you?
Yes. I came up with the, pictures. I love skeptics because they'll just be like, this, that.
Sure, of course. Yeah, well, that's part of the thing with paranormal. Is you always try to debunk it.
Right, and the thing I love about doing EVPs is then I become
Sure.
the devil's advocate and say, well, you debunk that.
Now you do have some.
Why is that
EVPs.
voice there
Yeah.
when there's nothing? Nobody else there.
You do have some of these recordings. These were
Yes.
taken at Bachelor's Grove.
I have one. I've only pulled one EVP out of Bachelor's Grove. Usually, I when I go there, I end up doing my investigation, taking pictures, taking video, doing EVPs, and kind of just getting lost in the place and going in the back.
Yeah.
The backwoods there, which has
Len
just
could tell us this because
strange
Len
sense about
spends
it.
Len spends 90% of his life in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. He's there a lot. Yeah. Len doesn't stir.
I definitely understand the draw of
Yeah.
that place. I mean, it's I don't know if it's on a physical level, but I always enjoy my time there, and I always stop the investigation and then just start wandering around and kind of.
What I like about
sensing
Bachelor's Grove is
things.
you never know you don't know what to get. You don't know what you're going to get. Is what I meant to say.
Absolutely.
You don't know what to expect. Every time you go there, it's a different experience. There's
It
always
is.
something different. Now, do you want to play these? These are some EVPs you took of. Go ahead, set these up for us. What are we going to do?
This was just like I said, I got there,
Oh, this was Bachelor's Grove then.
This is
Okay.
Bachelor's Grove.
Okay.
I was by the little daughter marker,
The Fulton's
right,
stone. Okay.
where
yeah.
everybody leaves
Right.
their
Yeah, the beads and the money and the candy
The
and
candy
dolls
and
and whatever. Yeah.
toys
Okay.
and that kind of thing, which is creepy in itself.
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
If you've ever seen it, like in person, where it's fully loaded and has
Yeah.
like actual dollar bills and all
I've been
kinds of
out
stuff
there,
on
I'm sure, as you guys have too, when there have been people have actually lit candles there.
Yeah.
On nice days, there's been candles lit there and these little dolls and things people leave there. The Fulton family stone is the bigger. Well, it's one of the bigger stones still intact in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. It's been a pretty vandalized cemetery over the
Yeah,
years.
that's really too bad.
So it's a
but
lot
it does
of
add to
upturns
the
in it.
creepiness of the
Yeah,
place.
yeah, but it's one of the bigger stones, probably just because they just simply couldn't move it. It was probably just too heavy to move.
It's huge.
So it's intact,
it's
and there are
really
some
big.
smaller stones around it. One happens to be infant daughter.
Right.
And so by that infant daughter, I guess people just out of respect or whatever leave little trinkets. They'll leave Mardi Gras beads, which I don't understand. They'll leave money sometimes. Sometimes there'll be little dolls and things and candy. Candles will be lit there and that. So
Right.
now you got this EVP by that stone?
Right, I was staying right by the stone,
Okay.
and I was just doing my usual EVP thing. I hate the sound of my own voice, so sorry. I apologize.
Well, let's hear what you got then. Let's
Okay.
hear this. Now this is a recording. Okay, go ahead. We'll play this and then we'll talk about the EVPs a little bit.
Just give me a sec.
Sure. These EVP recordings, paranormal investigators, you go and you have these things, and they record very, very slowly. Sometimes you'll have 8, 10, 20 hours of recording on this.
Right,
and
just
then you
get-
have to go back and you have to listen. This is where it becomes very painstaking, the research. You have to go back and listen to all this and find what you've recorded.
Right, and cemeteries in general, I mean, people are buried there, so usually the odds of getting something are pretty good.
Some of the investigators I've interviewed, some people I've had on this show and on other radio stations, have said, "Oh no, nothing goes on in cemeteries." That's what they tell you on the air. But then off the record, but then off the record they say, "Oh no, this goes on there and that and all this stuff."
I've picked up all kinds of crazy pictures
Yeah.
and kind of trespassed into cemeteries I shouldn't have been in at night.
Okay, is this thing ready to go yet? Here,
It is ready to go.
Okay, go ahead. Let's play it. Let's hear what you got.
Here we go.
Hi. I'm speaking to the spirits here at Bachelor's Grove.
My name's Brian. It's October 6th, 2012, about 10 o'clock in the morning. Would you like to tell me your name? Now, I don't know if you guys caught that.
Why did you change your name? Why did you say you were Brian?
Well, Brian is my
that is
real
your
name,
name.
and when I talk to them, I try to present myself as myself. Monty
okay.
Stone is a character, is a radio personality.
So in other words,
character.
I'm talking to a character.
It's not my God.
So all this time that I've known
Christian
you,
name.
all this time I've known you, I've been talking to a character. I haven't been talking to a real person.
Well, I've had it since high school.
That's your stage, your
right.
logo. Okay.
Maybe two people in my life call me by my.
Yeah, I've always called you Monty. The time I've known you, you've always been Monty.
I'm Monty to everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Even most of my family.
So Brian, what did we just hear?
Well, I'm not really. Like I said, that's the only.
And I heard
EVP
planes.
that
I heard planes going overhead.
Okay, now when I ask if you want to tell me what your name is, you can hear a little girl's voice. I don't know. Did you guys hear that? Did anybody hear
I can
it?
hear like whispers, like yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it
But
again.
now this Stone, this would be the infant daughter. So is the infant daughter
yeah,
capable
she
of
would
speaking? Or
it sounds almost like an
like an
8-year-old, 10-year-old
yeah,
girl.
someone older. Yeah.
That's what I would guess. I've listened to it 1,000 times.
Okay, we can hear some more of the same or the same thing
That's
again?
the only one that I got
that's it.
from
Okay.
there.
Oh, all right. So that's what you've got.
Right.
Yeah. So these EVPs, like I say, this now. How long did it take to get this?
On
many
Bachelor's
hours of
Grove,
recording? Yeah.
many.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was shocked when I found it on there because I didn't think they
there's a lot
wanted to
more-
say anything or.
Yeah, there's a lot more work into this paranormal than people realize. There's a lot more work into everything than people realize. You go out there and you do these investigations, as Len, I'm sure, can testify, many hours, overnights you're there, 24 hours, sometimes 20 hours, and these recordings go on, and then, like I say, afterwards, you've got to go back and sit and listen to all these many hours of recordings.
And watch the video.
And watch and see what you pick up and
things
listen
like
to
that,
what
right.
you're hearing, and and then you get outside interferences too, like on that one.
We had
right away I said I
airplane.
heard airplanes. I'm pointing when we were playing. I said I hear planes. You could hear planes going.
And
over
usually, I
site.
try to be aware of the sounds that are around when I do EVPs because you don't want that in there. It's just
Yeah, but it's just
right. But I felt
That's why
something
some,
right there, and I popped it out, and that was it.
There's like pro and con of doing night investigations. Some people say they like the night investigations, not so much because it has to be dark and it's more creepier and it sets the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's for
but
you.
because
I
it's
would
more
think,
quiet.
personally.
It's just more quiet.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's more quiet. You don't have a lot of street noises. You don't have that as much at night as you do during the day.
Right, and Bachelor's Grove
Yeah.
has a lot of traffic.
Oh, it's a very visited place. Yeah.
Every time I've been there, there's been somebody else there.
I've always
walking
said
around.
this. I says I kind of think they're missing the boat. If they want to close that cemetery down to the public, they should leave it open and just charge like $1 to go in. They'd be making a fortune.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that.
For the Cook
I thought it was
County
a
Forest
great
Preserve.
idea.
They'd be raising a ton of money there to help the Forest Preserve District. Yeah, they really would.
Yeah.
Let's get to Len.
Everybody knows where
let's
it
get
is.
Let's get to Len before he falls asleep. First,
Yeah.
we got to say hello to Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay, that's about all we're going to get out of Gail. Gail doesn't talk. Gail is Len's wife, and Gail always has to come along because we love seeing Gail here. Gail's been with Len on everything that I've had Len on with me, everything he's done for us, and she's his soulmate. They are husband and wife. And Len has been with us a few times before. Len, what do you got to say about all of this?
Well,
Before you fall asleep there listening to us.
can I continue on with Bachelor's Grove?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You continue whatever you want to, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You did that EVP at the Fulton Stone, correct?
Right. Correct.
Have you ever done any research around the Patrick Stone?
No, I have not.
Try it sometime.
Now,
And I will also challenge both of you to do one other thing.
where exactly is the Patrick Stone? I know where it's at, but just let everybody know.
Okay, when you walk into the cemetery and you look to your right, you'll pass a spruce tree about 20 feet off the path, and then you will see a split tree as you continue back going toward the pond. And right in front of the split tree is two small headstones whose bodies have been removed several years ago. But then you've got two stones that one obviously goes on top of the other, but we can't keep it there.
Okay.
People knock it down, and that's the Patrick Stone.
Okay, so they actually did move the grave? They took the remains out?
Of the two stones under the split tree, yes. Those bodies have been long gone. They just left the stones.
They left
The family
stones?
moved those bodies years and years ago.
Oh, I thought you said
right-
several years ago they moved
Right
them.
at the base of these are two stones, not of the Patrick Stone.
Okay,
These are
wait,
two of
I
the-
just got lost here.
There's a split tree.
Okay, yeah, I heard that part. Okay.
And there's 2 stones right at the very base of the split tree.
Okay.
Those 2 stones, they left the stones, but the families moved the bodies back when Bachelor's Grove closed many years ago.
Oh,
I know exactly where you're talking
Now
about.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know that they moved the graves.
More towards the front, of course, is the Patrick plot.
Okay,
There's
that's
quite
the
a-
one that we're talking about, is the Patrick
Right.
plot.
Right.
Okay,
There's-
but this is how you find it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And
So what goes on at the Patrick plot?
Well, that's why my challenge to everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the picture of, everybody calls it the Madonna, the lady in white.
Absolutely, very famous photo. Yeah.
Dale Kazmarik's group.
Yeah,
took
absolutely, very
back in,
famous,
what,
yeah.
92, 93.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Compare that to the wedding pictures of Senator John Humphrey and Amelia Patrick Humphrey.
That was the second Mrs. Humphrey, or the first
The
Mrs.
first
Humphrey?
Mrs.
The
Humphrey.
first Mrs. Humphrey.
First
Okay.
one. And if you look at it, especially the lady sitting on the stone,
Mm-hmm.
you look at the dress running over the back of the stone,
Mm-hmm.
and compare it to Amelia's wedding dress.
Okay.
It's the same pattern.
Oh. Okay.
Look at the hairstyle; it's the same. The build, it's the same. And Ed Shanahan agrees with this. He did some research. I also did some research. The mystery woman in the photograph
Mm-hmm.
is Amelia Patrick Humphrey.
Now that you're certain of, because for many years no one knew. You can't make out facial features. We've all seen that photograph.
Right.
It's a very famous
But
photograph.
the dress pattern is the same from her wedding dress. She
Ah.
appears there on her wedding
So
dress.
then she was buried in her wedding dress?
No, she's not even buried in that cemetery. She's buried in
Oh.
Orland Park.
Which
But her first
that far from there.
her first child,
The child is buried there.
Libby May Humphrey,
Yeah.
Ah.
is buried in the Patrick plot.
Now that's unusual that they would bury the child there, but the wife would be
This
buried.
is the great question.
Ah.
The Orland Park Cemetery wasn't open until the late 1850s, about 1857, 58.
Wait a minute. 1850s. The oldest house in Bachelor's Grove, or the oldest house in Orland Park, is the Humphreys house. That's the 1880s.
Mm-hmm. That house in the
Something's not
1880s.
clicking. There was nothing in Orland Park in
The
1850s.
cemetery was there.
Yeah, but where were the
It's there.
people? If the oldest house is from the 1880s, people were in Orland Park. Well, that's the oldest house. There could have been other things
Yeah,
there, but it's
there
the
was
oldest
other
house
things
existing. Okay, I had to correct myself on that. I'm just doing a timetable here. I'm thinking 1850. The oldest house is 1880. We're talking like 30, 40 years here.
And-
Where were the people at? You know.
And Libby May died in 1865.
Okay.
He insisted, for whatever reason, for that child to be buried in the Patrick plot
Okay.
at Bachelor's Grove.
Okay.
And it's our theory that due to the love of that child,
That's why she's coming back to visit.
on a lot of nights, Amelia's coming back to visit.
Hmm.
She died at 11 months, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
11 months apart they died?
No, 11 months.
She was 11 months.
Oh, the child was
old.
11 months when it died.
Amelia lived to be 50.
Okay.
In the early 50s before she passed away in the house.
Okay. Yeah, she died in the Humphreys house.
She did in the Humphrey's house. And a couple of decades later.
Okay.
But she comes to see her firstborn child.
Which would make
buried-
sense.
buried in
Definitely
the
a mother would have connection to a
And
child. So,
sometimes, if you time it right, you can see what another one of my theories is a heat signature apparition.
A heat signature apparition.
Yes. Now, if you're familiar with putting a light bulb on a table,
Okay.
especially an old-fashioned light bulb like these above us,
Okay.
and it'll turn
Well, we
something.
have gas lighting here. We don't have. We don't have. This is an old studio. We have gas lights.
But remember the old decorations you can hang above there with a little windmill in it, and
Gotcha.
the heat
Would turn it.
will turn it.
Right.
And you can see, especially in a darkened room, the heat disturbing the atmosphere, leaving a light bulb.
Okay.
And that's why I call it heat signature apparition.
So when the conditions are just right and the heat is right.
You can see a disturbance
see
in the
this.
atmosphere.
Ah, okay.
And several of us have seen about a 1.5 2 foot tall heat apparition.
So that would be an infant child.
And then another one about 5 foot, and Amelia was about 5 foot.
Okay.
Sometimes you will see them walking around the cemetery. Other times you will see her arrive at the cemetery.
Okay.
But I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So they're buried separately, the mother and the child.
Right,
So the theory is she comes to visit.
right.
Why aren't they buried together? They're usually. Is there a theory?
That's always the question.
That's what he said. That's the
Nobody
mystery.
can
Nobody
explain.
knows why, yeah.
Nobody can explain why the senator wanted his
Now
daughter.
he is
Oh, the
very.
mind runs rampant with.
Now the first Mrs. Humphreys. What's her name? Amelia or Anime? Well, that's the tea
My
kettle.
phone rings when it's turned off.
That's the tea kettle whistling. Tea's ready. Hot water's ready. Al, you just jump in anytime too. You know.
Is
you
there
don't
a
stay out of
certain
this.
season that you can see the heat apparition more than a certain months out of the year?
Is that you, John, doing that, or who's doing that?
That was my phone.
Oh, that is
ring,
your phone.
even when it's turned off.
Well, that fits.
I don't know. I'm
right.
looking at John. He's got this Treasure Cat grin on his face, and I'm thinking he's pushing something
I just
back
accepted it as part of the
If
show.
it-
there. Yeah,
I thought it
these
was
things
part
happen
of
all
the
the time on this show.
I do have a creepy ringtone. It fits, but on a very hot day, it's hard to see.
So in the
Okay.
summertime,
And,
it's
especially
less.
when the plants there will throw off their
Yeah,
own heat
yeah.
when it gets cooler, and the whole thing's covered with the heat.
So that's not a good time.
So that's not a good time. Best time is in the springtime or now in the fall.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually see the disturbance. One of the first times I saw Amelia was when you walk into the cemetery, the far left corner, way in the back.
Okay.
Well, not the back coming in, but way toward the left.
By the
And-
fence on the left side.
By the fence on the left side. And she was walking by me, and I said, "You know I can see you, right?" And the heat signature stopped. And then when I took a step toward it, it backed off, and she just backed off, and the heat signature disappeared.
And then just dematerialized. Oh, okay.
And the video I was taking was completely corrupted on my camera. And get this, it would show on the camera. You could watch it start to end on the camera, but it would not download. Hooked the camera to the computer, it would not download. I took the card out, put it in the card reader, it would not download.
Wow.
But you could watch it on the
Interesting.
camera.
Is that something with someone with little experience could see, or is that something more experienced?
You have to have your eyes trained.
Yeah.
I'll show you an example. Now you see my hand in front of this clock, right?
Correct.
And you can see my hand in focus.
Correct.
Now, maintain focus on my hand.
Okay.
On the spot my hand is in. Not my hand specifically, but the spot.
Okay.
Now maintain focus on the spot.
Okay.
If you can see the little dust particles, and make
Right.
sure when I do this, you see the air is all disturbed. You see the disturbance in the
Okay,
air.
makes sense. Yeah.
You have to be
perfect sense,
you
yeah.
have to train your eye to see that disturbance in the air.
Would it be a trained eye, or just maybe somebody maybe a little more psychically in tune too? I mean,
That always
some
helps.
people can go and see nothing, and another person will be with them, and they say, "Don't you see this? It's right here, you know, right in front." I've had this happen to me. Not that I'm so psychically in tune myself, but there have been times where I've seen something and no one else has seen it, or I've talked to something and it's no one else has done that, or someone else has done it. And I said, "What are you talking about? There's nothing there." And they're, you know, they said, "No, it's right there," you know. So
Well, you and I did a show where we
I
had
know.
something walking back in front of the studio
yes,
door.
we did. You want to
which
talk
was really-
about that, or you want me to go ahead? You talk about it if you want to.
I don't know what to say.
All right, I'll give you the story on it. Actually, I think that is still on YouTube. Actually,
Yeah.
It's
They're
still
all
up
up
there,
on
yeah.
YouTube for when I'm really old. and I
Monty,
can be like,
Monty did a show.
wow.
Monty did a show on another station, right? And so the gentleman that was running the station, Todd, said, "Oh, you've got to talk to Monty, you know, because you do your paranormal radio, and Monty's wanted to meet you, and he knows you do the paranormal. He's really into this and everything." So we connected one time. So Monty used to do his show till I thought his show ran overnight, like all night long. I thought, this will be good. I'll get in there at the odd hours.
A lot of people thought I was like on the air 24 hours a day.
And this was he did his show. He did the show till midnight. So he did his show, and then afterwards, which I was kind of glad for because I didn't want to take away from his time because he has a loyal following of people that listen to his music and everything, and I didn't want to take away from that with my jargon. So his show ended at midnight, and then I went in there. We actually did the Paranormal Radio show.
Yeah,
I did the show. Monty and I talked.
2 hours.
Yak. We're talking and everything. And as we're talking, we're kind of sitting the way we are now.
Yeah.
And Monty is in one part of. Now you remember the studio over there at
yes.
the station. He doesn't want me to say. I have no problem saying it, but he doesn't want me to mention it. Anyway, Monty was sitting over like by the controls over there, and I'm of course looking at the doorway where you would enter, right? And I'm talking to him, and the whole time I'm talking to him, this image is there. And so finally, so I'm looking over it, and he's there definitely. And he would like walk into the light, and then he would back up. And I says, "Monty, hold it. I gotta just stop. I've got to address this." And he says, "What do you see, Bob?" And I says, "No, he's there." and he was talking. He's talking to me and everything, and I'm listening. And you could hear it. And I did tape this show on cassette. And of course, you hear me talking, but you don't hear him. And it was a him. And then I think you taped it too, and nothing came out.
Well, you can actually. I've looked at that video with a bunch of different people. I know a lot of other different people have looked at it.
Nothing.
Well, shadows.
Okay.
You know, I mean, but it's really hard. I don't know. Maybe it was the placement of the
Okay.
camera.
Mhm.
You know, because I was trying to get
Yeah.
both of us in the shot.
Well, anyway, he was there, And he's talking, but he's talking to me, and I said, well, I can't understand you. I said, I don't know what you're saying. And he said, well, and then he started getting mad. He's like, well, you should understand this. You should know what I'm saying. And I can't. And he's speaking like in broken English. And he says, I like your music. And I said, well, what music do you like? I went to I said, do you like his music? He just did a music show.
You don't like my music.
No, he liked the opera, because every once in a while I would do a thing, and I'd bring some, just like I do here, I would bring some old opera recordings on and talk about that. And he liked that. And I said, oh, we're going to have to bring some more of that on from time to time. Maybe we can get him to come back. He never did again, not during one of my shows, but that time he was there, and I talked with him and saw him, and that was the end of that. Yeah.
After that I started taping shows from different angles, and we were catching orbs flying out of my out of my co-host's head.
It's a shame we're not over there anymore, because I had some plans for that place, but maybe another time we'll have to sneak our
and then we had the big storm night there, and there was all kinds of
they've told me things over there too about the dust on the staircase and the footprints and the whole. It was you that I was talking about. We were talking about that. Yeah.
But
now mind you, after I'm there at this, I live not too far from there, so I have to walk like across there and then walk home, right? And this is like 1:30 in the morning. Now I got to walk through the school by myself. I got to leave there after all this and then walk out
nice
through the dark. Yeah, it's a nice feeling. But it never scared me. It really didn't. I was never afraid. Not once anyway. But like I say, sometimes you see it or someone else sees it, but they don't. And and I've had that happen to me where someone is seeing the guy walk through a tree, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. And they're like, well, why can't you? He's right there. Yeah.
I actually had an incident at the Patrick Stone.
Mm-hmm.
A family of 4. Yeah. Man, woman, young girl about 12, 13. The other girl maybe 15, 16. And they were standing there watching me. I had a ghost box going. I had a couple of cameras going. And both Libby May and her mother had already arrived. One was standing toward that split tree side of the stone.
Okay.
And when you got your back to the gate, Amelia was standing to the far side of the stone, toward the pond. And every time somebody would move, one of the 5 of us would step toward either one, it'd back off a little bit. You could actually see the weeds move, where the apparition was actually moving the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we don't see it. What do you see?
See, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes, you're in tune with it, sometimes not.
I taught the mother how to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I explained the heat signature, just like I did over the radio here.
It has a lot to do with the individual, I believe. It has a lot to do with the conditions, the time of the year, and the weather, just all sorts of factors.
Is it a more relaxed gaze, more from the peripheral?
You got to kind of be looking at it and focus your eyes. The eyes are not used to focusing on nothing. And that's the problem. Like when I had my hand up. It's hard to focus on that same spot my hand's in, because your eyes are actually seeing nothing. But you got to train your eyes. It sometimes give you a headache. Once you start trying to focus and concentrating on nothing, it'd give you a headache.
So if you were to go into an entry-level training, what would that be like if you were to work on training yourself?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Being in a slightly dusty room.
That's a real good question. I never heard that before.
With maybe a ceiling fan going slowly.
Hour, 2 hours at a time?
And concentrate on watching the airflow, because when you got a ceiling fan going, there's constant airflow all over the room. And when you can move and look at different spots in the room, and you can see the airflow, then you've got it.
So you would be seated for an hour or two and practice like that?
At least a couple of times a week.
Interesting stuff.
But the lady saw it. She said, "Can't you see it? It's right there. It's right there."
Why don't
the
you?
father finally saw it and put his hands to either head like this and started running around in a circle between the Patrick Stone and the next stone closer.
I just thought of this real brilliant idea for you, Lynn. As long as you're so knowledgeable about this and have these ideas for us, why don't you start doing this?
Doing what?
Doing just this, giving people a class in this and a talk on this, and training people to do this. You could pioneer this field.
It's a thought. I've actually trained a few people that happen to come in when I'm at Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah.
And like that woman there, she actually saw it and reacted to it. Yeah, now they left very quickly.
This sounds like something.
That's the usual.
Yeah. This sounds like something you might be very good at. I'd kind of give that some consideration. And if it works out very well for you, just remember I get 10%. Okay. Anyway,
Nice. Don't forget the metal vault. We're there somewhere.
I'm going to stop here for a second, do some sponsor recognition here, and some advertising here for Windy City, and everybody take a break for a second, drink your water, whatever you want to do. And Al, you think about some illusions or something you want to do. When we come back, we're going to get to you again. You're going to do some more magic, some more on-the-air radio magic. Okay, I want to give some recognition again to my sponsor that I have, Mr. Ed Shanahan. Ed is the Best Chicago Psychic Award for the year 2012, and he is very gifted. He did a reading for me on the air here, and he knows what he's talking about. Ed's a good guy, and he knows what he's doing. He does house parties, he does private readings for people, individuals. He's a Chicago paranormal host. He doesn't like to be a tour guide. He is a paranormal host. He has exclusives with the John Humphreys House, which we were just talking about, in Senator Humphreys House. Al Capone's Cullerton Hotel, which is very creepy. You ever been to Cullerton Hotel?
No, I'm not.
That's very creepy thing.
Either.
Yeah, it's very, yeah.
Sounds fun, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's right up your alley, Matthew. Yeah. The Valentine Chicago Boys and Girls Clubs, and a lot of haunted locations he does. And he does Paranormal Lights all for October here, and you can book him for all sorts of stuff. Give him a ring at, oh gosh, where's he at here? He's at Chicago Paranormal Nights, that's all one word, .com. Chicago Paranormal Lights, one word for details. You can find all about Ed. Also, too, Ed Shanahan has a Facebook page. If you want to go up there and maybe contact him through that for some engagements. And you can go to Edward Shanahan. This is all in small letters, not capitals, and it's all one word. Edward Shanahan. His last name is spelled SHANAHAN.com. And I promise you, I can tell you firsthand that if you do use Ed for anything, you won't be disappointed. Also, too, I believe he is with the Spiritualist Church. Now, I'm not certain if he's a minister over there in Cicero. That's, what the heck's the name of the church there? It's a Spiritualist Church with Mahalia Bacon. I tried to get her as a guest on, too, but she's very busy. I couldn't get her on. He's connected with that, and I think he has an office over there, too. Okay, what do we got, John? John's raising his hand. Got 5 more minutes? Oh, we got 5 more minutes. Okay. Also, too, some recognition for Windy City. Contact us here at windycity.com, www.windycityhometown.com, to listen to any of the shows we got going on here, and some of the shows we're hoping to get going here. And listen to the great stuff we got going on there. Meet Chicago historians, Don of Sports, just all sorts of music and nostalgia, and just entertaining program. They get people on here that are very knowledgeable, doing a lot of stuff. One of my other friends does the Chicago historians. They also just started doing a railroad show. I'm not sure what the name of that one is.
Chicago Junction.
Chicago Junction. It's all about railroad history and stuff in Chicago. Okay, we're going to give a couple of seconds here. Al, what do you want to do for us fast?
This is
Mr. Al Bach, the magician.
This is
Mr. Magic.
something I created back in mid-2005.
Okay.
This is a Mystic Chopper.
Okay. So it's a card with a helicopter on it. Okay. All right.
These have some cool images.
Mhm.
Mystic
Fine.
Chopper.
Okay.
Majestic Divers.
Okay.
Mysterious Ships.
Okay.
They're all with an M. Magic Plane. Don't get scared. Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm going to leave the 4 images here. Ships, divers, chops, chopper, plane. The triangle has a strange effect. Look, deja vu, return,
Okay.
another chopper, divers, ships, and a magic plane.
Okay.
And you remember this card?
All right.
The triangle?
Mm-hmm.
The ships, divers, choppers, much too close. Look. Gone.
Okay.
Wow.
And the plane.
So he just changed all the cards over from the diver, the ships, and that all to the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay,
Okay.
watch very closely.
Mhm.
Now, the plane manages to escape,
Ah.
but not for long. And the remaining ships, planes, divers, choppers, go.
They're all triangles. That's insane.
Amazing. This is a little hard to explain on the radio when you're talking to, but we are filming this, and we'll be able to. Where will they be able to watch this? Will it be up on YouTube?
Right.
And what would they punch up?
It'll be on YouTube. Al Bach.
Al Bach. It's
Magic.
just like the musician Bach, B-A-C-H, Al Bach.
And I will also put these clips on magicnow.com.
Okay, there you go. So
Are
they'll be
you
on
on
there.
Facebook?
Facebook?
Yeah, your Facebook, Twitter.
I'm on Facebook.
Al's got a Facebook page, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we are going to wrap. Mr. John Davidic, thank you so much, sir, for allowing me to do these shows. They're a joy. I just love doing these. I do them like once a month over here, and I love doing this. Next month for October, like I said, we'll be doing the Richard Crowe tribute. If you want to join in on that one with us, you're welcome to. And again, thank you to our sponsor, Mr. Ed Shanahan, a wonderful guy, and he's welcome to come back on this show anytime he'd like. He's also welcome to give us another check here anytime he'd like. And for that matter, anybody else can, too. And then also, too, we can't forget our affiliate. When you come on this show, you get a lot of exposure. You're on YouTube, which you can listen to anytime. You're on the Windy City Network, www.windycityhometown.com network, and then also to Jack FM. That's at Ridgewood High School. They pick up our show there, and they're on 89.7. That's WRHS. Jack FM 89.7, WRHS. When will this be? They usually broadcast like in the morning. They do ours.
7:30 in the morning.
So we'll be on at 7:30 in the morning. What day?
Next week.
Oh, next week, yeah. Wednesday? So that will be like October 1st or 2nd or some such.
Like
well, next Wednesday, whatever next Wednesday. Today is the 23rd of September. The following Wednesday, not this Wednesday, following Wednesday we'll be on at 7:30 in the morning. So when you're having your morning coffee and you're making your commute, you can listen to Paranormal Radio and try to figure out how Al did all those tricks on the air here. I want to thank all my guests I had on tonight, Mr. Len Dorman. Len, it's always a pleasure, God. You know what? You just call me and let me know when you want to come on. And you come on here. I don't have to call you. You're like family, so you just come on here. Gail, thank you for showing up. You want to say?
Thanks, Gail.
What do you want to say? Gail speaks. Just say thank you. She just smiles. We got her to say hello at the beginning, and that was it. Gail says,
smile at the end.
"Yeah." Gail says, they're like, who am I thinking of? They're like, you're like Liberace and George. George would just say thank you or hello, and that would be it. And Liberace would do the whole thing. Yeah, That's how they are. Mr. Monty Stone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a former, I shouldn't say a former, not a former, he's not a former anything. He's a former radio personality from another station, soon
many other stations.
He's been all over the place, and Monty lives. He's all over the place. The Metal Vault lives. Yeah, the Metal Vault lives.
I do want to say hello to all the Metal Vaulters out there on Twitter and Facebook around the world. You guys rock. Hails and horns.
Hails and horns. Wow. Holy cow. Look at that. Mr. Al Bach. Thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
And there again, now, if anybody wants to get a hold of Al to book him for something,
MagicNow.com.
MagicNow.com for Al Bach. Thank you, everybody. It's a joy. Thank you,
Thanks
folks, for listening. You're very welcome. Thank you all. It's a joy listening to. It's a joy listening to these shows. What am I saying? I'm doing the shows. It's a joy doing these shows, and thank you so much, folks. Tune in with us again next month. Bye bye. Thank you.
You have been listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network. Today's guest was Magic Mr. L. Bach, paranormal investigator, Mr. Len Dorman, former radio personality and host of Metal Vault, and paranormal investigator, Mr. Monty Stone. Paranormal Radio was produced and directed by John DeVita, edited by Stephen Lehman, and our audio engineer is James Rohde. This program was pre-recorded on Monday, September the 23rd, the year 2013. Thanks, friends, for listening.